Hello students, welcome to the second video on synchronous motor drive. In this video, we will talk about self-controlled synchronous motor drive. In the last session, we have seen the importance of synchronous motors in electrical drives. Also, we have seen why there is a need to keep V/F ratio constant when we are going for variable frequency operation, and also we have seen the difference between true synchronous mode and self-control mode of variable frequency control of synchronous motor drive. Now in this session we will discuss some more points about self-controlled synchronous motor drive. At the end of this session, students will be able to understand the block diagram of self-controlled synchronous motor drive and will also be able to explain the open loop operation of self-controlled synchronous motor drive. Now this is a self-controlled synchronous motor drive employing load commuted thyristor inverter. So this is a typical block diagram for a self-controlled synchronous motor drive employing a load commuted thyristor inverter. Now here we can see that there are two converters. This is called a source side converter and this is called a load side converter. Now this converter is connected to a three-phase AC supply input side, hence it is called as a source side converter, whereas this converter is connected to the motor and that's why it is called as load side converter. So here we can see that this converter, source side converter, in simple ways, this three-phase supply is converted into DC here with the help of source side converter. This DC is given to this load side converter which will convert DC into AC, which is given to the synchronous motor. So synchronous motor is fed by variable frequency supply here, which is given by load side converter. Now for source side converter we have a firing angle as alpha S, and for load side converter we have a firing angle as alpha L. So alpha S is source side converter firing angle and alpha L is load side firing angle of the load side converter. Now here this source side converter is a 6 pulse line commuted thyristor converter. 6 pulse line commuted thyristor converter. Now we will see how these will operate. What are the conditions for that? Here we can see that a source side converter, initially we will talk about source side converter and then we will talk about load side converter. So source side converter, we can see that when the firing angle is in the range of 0 to 90 degree, when the firing angle alpha S is in the range of 0 to 90 degree, source side converter acts as a fully controlled rectifier. Source side converter acts as fully controlled rectifier, giving positive value of VDS and positive ID, where we have both VDS and ID positive. Whereas when the firing angle alpha S is in the range of 90 degree to 180 degree, it acts as a line commuted inverter. Source side converter acts as a line commuted inverter, giving negative VDS and carrying positive ID. In that case your voltage is negative whereas current is positive, right? So for source side converter, when firing angle is 0 to 90 degree, fully controlled rectifier with positive values of VDS and ID, and when firing angle alpha S is in the range of 90 degree to 180 degree, it acts as line commuted inverter with negative VDS and positive ID. Now if we go to the load side converter, when alpha L is a firing angle of load side converter. So when alpha L is 90 degree to 180 degree, then it acts as a load commuted inverter with negative VDL and positive ID, right? With negative VDL and positive ID. And when alpha L is between 0 and 90 degree, it acts as a fully controlled rectifier with positive VDL and positive ID, with positive VDL and positive ID. So this is about the operation of these two converters, source side converter and load side converter, for different firing angles. So what we get is, we have seen what is the polarity of the voltage and the current that we have seen. Now when we get motoring operation and when we get regenerative operation, right? In these converters, in this self-control synchronous motor drive employing load commuted thyristor inverter, we need to see when we can get motoring operation and when we can get regenerative braking operation. So for motoring operation, source side converter should operate with the firing angle as, or firing angle in the range of 0 to 90 degree. For motoring operation, source side converter should operate with a firing angle in the range of 0 to 90 degree, that is fully controlled rectifier, that is converting AC into DC. Load side converter will have the firing angle in the range of 90 degree to 180 degree, working as a load commuted inverter. In this case, VDS is more than VDL. And the power flow is from AC source to motor. And that is what is the motoring operation. For regenerative braking, source side converter should operate with the firing angle alpha S in the range of 90 degree to 180 degree, and it acts as a line commuted inverter. Whereas load side converter should operate with the firing angle alpha L in the range of 0 to 90 degree, that is fully controlled rectifier. In that case, VDS is less than VDL. And power flow is from motor to source. So we have seen when we can get motoring operation and when we can get regenerative braking operation, that we have seen. The magnitude of the torque depends upon the difference between VDS and VDL. So it is proportional to VDS and VDS minus VDL. Right? Torque is proportional to the difference between these two. And speed can be changed by controlling the line or source side converter firing angle. Right? Speed is controlled by changing the firing angle of the source side converter. So this is converter operation, right? So this is the block diagram. This is source side converter, this is load side converter. AC is converted into DC, DC is again converted into AC and given to the synchronous motor. So we have seen these operations of the source side converter and load side converter for different firing angles, and when we can get motoring operation and when we can get regenerative braking operation, that also we have seen. Now let us see open loop operation. Now this is the block diagram, same block diagram drawn here. This is the source side converter as it is connected to three-phase supply here. This is load side converter which is connected to the synchronous motor. This is an encoder which is used to sense the speed, and this is given to the inverter here to change the supply frequency, right? And this is a filter circuit, Now here the inverter may be, current source inverter or voltage source inverter. So depending upon the type of inverter, input DC source may be a controllable current source or controllable voltage source. So depending upon whether it is a current source converter or voltage source converter, the input may be controllable current source if it is current source inverter, or controllable voltage source if it is voltage source inverter. The accurate rotor speed is determined by the rotor position sensor. So this is a rotor position sensor. So accurate speed is measured by using the rotor position sensor. This is a rotor position sensor to measure the rotor speed. The output of rotor position sensor is given to inverter. So this is the rotor position sensor and it is giving output to the inverter, which is used to produce firing pulses for the semiconductor devices used in the inverter feeding the motor. So this is having semiconductor devices, SCRs. Now this will give the signal to SCRs, so that the frequency will be changed here, right? So output of the rotor position sensor is given to the inverter, which is used to produce firing pulses for semiconductor devices, that is SCRs, used in the inverter feeding the motor. In other words, the instance of providing supply to the stator, these are the supply lines to the stator, three-phase supply. In other words, instance of providing supply to the stator winding is decided by rotor position sensor. Now this rotor position sensor will decide the instance of providing supply to the stator winding, right? This frequency is proportional to the rotor speed. So this frequency is proportional to the rotor speed. Suppose the load is increased. Suppose the load on the motor is increased. What will happen? The rotor slows down. If the load on the motor is increased, the rotor slows down, then the stator supply frequency changes automatically. This stator supply frequency changes automatically so that rotor remains synchronized with the rotating magnetic field. So when load is applied, rotor will slow down. This decrease in the speed will be sensed by this encoder, will be given a signal to the inverter. This will work in such a way that the frequency which is supplied to the motor will be in synchronism with the rotor speed, right? So the frequency will be changed automatically so that the rotor remains synchronized with the rotating magnetic field. The speed of the motor, right? This is the operation when there is load on the motor. When the speed is to be controlled here, then we need to work on this converter. This converter will operate to change the frequency, and this converter will operate to change the voltage. The speed of the motor is controlled by controlling the voltage of the DC link. This voltage, how this voltage is controlled? This voltage is controlled by controlling the voltage here. The speed of the motor is controlled by controlling the voltage of the DC link, that is input to the inverter, by controlling the firing pulses of the rectifier. So by changing the firing pulses of the rectifier, this voltage is controlled to control the speed, and by changing the firing pulses of the inverter, frequency is changed to keep the rotor in the synchronism. And with this we can have 4-quadrant operation when the inverter is fed from fully controlled converter. When this is fed from the fully controlled converter, we can have 4-quadrant operation. So this is open loop operation about this self-controlled synchronous motor drive. So there is no closed loop operation. This is just open loop operation, right? So what we have seen is the self-controlled synchronous motor drive, this block diagram, with source side converter and load side converter. We have seen the operations for different firing angles for both source side converter and load side converter. Then we have seen motoring operation and regenerative braking operation, right? After that we have seen the block diagram for self-controlled synchronous motor drive in open loop operation, right? So in this session we have seen the basic operation of self-controlled synchronous motor drive and open loop operation of self-controlled synchronous motor drive, right? Next session we will talk about closed loop operation of self-controlled synchronous motor drive, right? Thank you for this session.